Hello, I'm Stephen Ho, trader and founder of The Stop Hunter. Day trading is very difficult, especially if you're new to trading. So in this video I'm going to give you what I think are my top 10 markets to start your trading journey with, and also on top of that 3 top tips to help you in that day trading journey. Firstly, a risk disclaimer. Trading involves a high degree of risk and can lead to large financial losses. Always seek the help of a qualified financial advisor, and the content within this video is and should not be construed as investment advice and is only presented for informational and educational purposes. Firstly, let's clear one thing up straight away. What exactly is day trading? So we're perfectly clear. Well, day trading is the buying and selling of whatever financial instrument you're trading within the same day to profit from small trades. That's it, nothing more complex than that. It's a day trading strategy. Day trading can be applied very successfully to forex, stocks or futures, but there are some considerations for the new trader to take into account. So we're going to have a look at those now. So what are those considerations? Well, the first golden rule is always only trade with as much money as you're prepared to lose. You could miss it or go away and you'd never notice, because that impacts your psychology massively in your trading. Not just the financial reasons behind it, but you must only put in what you can afford to lose. But then on the flip side, you can start trading from day trading, especially because of its nature, its speed, from as little as $100, pounds, up to thousands. But if you want to trade futures, stocks, you're probably going to need a lot more in your fund account. The second consideration is actually you yourself. One, your personality. Do you suit day trading? Are you more a longer term trader, or even a fast algorithmic computer program trader? You ought to define who you are in the trading process. And also you might have different interests that attract you to certain markets, or your background. You might work in an oil industry basing, so day trading WTI crude oil might be for you, or pick and focus in on what you enjoy and are interested in. Thirdly, like with anything, you're going to need a plan, a trading plan, like a business plan, and inside that you've got to consider the time frames you're going to be trading in, the speed, length of those trades, and do those products that you want to trade, those markets, actually suit that strategy and time frame approach. So very important to nail your plan right at the start. Then fourth, markets, they have their own peculiarities and behaviors, and we're going to have a look at that in a bit more detail in a minute. But again, you've got to factor these in, otherwise you're going to lose. And finally, the fifth consideration, it all may sound easy so far, but simple things can make you lose in day trading. It's getting the right broker, the right equipment, the charts, the right software that you're trading off of, even the hardware, the PC. All those things should be considered when you're going into the day trading world. So let's have a look now at markets in a bit more detail. So our fourth consideration, markets, needs a bit more time spent on it, and I've left up 5 further considerations that you want to take on board when contemplating the markets that you may want to trade. So the first one is price action, and sort of related to the second one, volatility, because you don't want to trade something that's flat going nowhere, but you also don't want to trade something that is too volatile and unpredictable. So it's seeking a good balance between the two. So you want something with decent price action, but we call it more predictable volatility. Then our third consideration, liquidity. What does that mean? That means how much volume, market activity there is in a day. You want a very decent amount of that because you want to get in and out of trades quickly. You don't want to be sitting around waiting for something to execute because there's going to be slippage, you're going to lose money. So you need that liquidity, as it's called, to be able to execute trades properly. In our fourth consideration, low spreads, that simply means that if you've got a strategy that's not going to last long, a more liquid asset that you want to trade has a lower spread, and because that you can quickly move through that spread. That's the spread you're going to pay the broker, and that means, you know, again, there's not going to be the slippage and you're going to be more profitable with your trade. So look for markets that have low spreads. Then finally, leverage. If you're going to trade naked stocks, naked forex, you're probably not going to get the leverage that you want, but using products like CFDs, spread betting, futures, you're going to get more bang for your buck. You can also lose more buck, so to speak, but leverage does help you, especially if you've got a smaller portfolio size, to get into bigger trades and make bigger returns. So what's my top 10 of day trading markets for the new trader to consider? Well, let's take a look. My top 10 is in no particular order, but I have broken it out by FX, indices, stocks and commodities for you to capture all sorts of markets that you might be interested in. Now, firstly, we're looking at FX, and it's a tricky one because FX has a lot of different potential markets you could trade, but I think for the real new trader, the pound against the dollar, the euro against the dollar, and the dollar against the Canadian dollar would be a really good place to start. There are other ones like the Australian dollar, CAD yen, euro yen, but I think those three really are a good place to start. Well, what about equities? Well, I'm going to focus in on the US because of liquidity and spread and volume, and really it's those FOMO stocks, Microsoft, Apple and Amazon I'm going to pick because they're easy to get in and out of day trade. Around there are plenty others of interest, Tesla, you know, etc, etc, but those three really good for starting with. And then indices, what stock markets could you look at? There are again so many to choose from. I've left out things like the DAX, the Nikkei 225, the Australian 200. Like I say, there are so many. What ones have I gone for? Well, I have gone for the FTSE 100 and the S&P 500 in the US and the Nasdaq 100 in the US. I think they are a really good starting place for day traders. And finally, commodities. Well, commodities are really difficult, even the more liquid ones. And what do I mean by liquid ones then? Oil, gold, copper maybe, silver starting to get, you know, pretty tricky. So I'm going to give you one if you want to get into commodities, and that is WTI crude oil. You could use Brent crude oil if you want to, but WTI for me, the US crude oil, is the best if you want to day trade. But remember, that is still very tricky. It jumps around a lot. You need to know and learn about the market, what's OPEC doing, what's production, you know, supply and demand doing. Again, do your research, do your homework, but if you're going to do a commodity, oil I think is a good place to start. So now we've looked at our top 10, let's go on, and I'm going to give you now 3 tips around there which can help you with your day trading when you're just going out to start. So my 3 top tips are, firstly, 1, get the right broker, because getting the wrong broker you can lose very quickly, because that's going to help you, as we've discussed, with the spreads, the markets you're going to trade. If things go wrong with the broker, you know, make sure they're regulated in your area. I'm going to do another video on getting the right broker, so like I say, if you subscribe and hit that bell button, then you know you'll be able to pick up on that. But hugely important to get the right broker. Then it is, secondly, to get the right equipment. And what do I mean by that? I mean things like charting packages, technical analysis, you know, software, data feeds if you're an algorithmic trader. All of those very important to get your trading, especially the day trading, correct. Again, I'll do another video on that one. And thirdly and finally, it's to get the right education and experience, and that means finding a mentor, doing the time, the study into what works, the strategy, the business plan, get the education, learn from people. I do offer my own courses on Udemy, e-learning ones, and they're in the link below, but look around, get the experience. It means playing with a demo account to start with, but also you've got to get skin in the game, go live, because you'll learn far quicker and far easier once you put real money on the table than you will sitting there on a demo account. So those three things, consider them as well, along with what we've discussed so far. And basically that's it for today's video. If you've liked it, hit the thumbs up button, remember to subscribe, hit the bell button for any of that new video stuff that we're going to put out over the coming months. It's going to be really useful for you, so please do follow and subscribe. And like I said, everything you need to know will be in the description below. So if I don't hear from you before, I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in the next video.